Welcome to Passionate World Talk Radio. Educate, enlighten, entertain.
This episode of the Energy Stoners Cafe is sponsored by Passionate World Talk Radio and Lillian Caldwell. PassionateWorldTalkRadio.com. Welcome to the Energy Stoners Cafe. My name is Toni Quest, and I'm really happy that you're here. I like to interview the most interesting people I can find on the planet. So grab a cup of coffee, sit down, relax, and listen. You're going to find that these guests are so intriguing, you'll wonder why you didn't know about them before. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Energy Stoners Cafe. I have a great guest tonight. It's a woman that I'm so very, very fond of because she's just exudes kindness. This would be the second time I'm interviewing her. I interviewed her on my TV show, Talk with TQ, and considering the times we're in now, it seems highly appropriate to interview her on Energy Stoners Cafe. So I hope everybody has their cup of tea ready or whatever, or an adult beverage if you prefer. That's okay for the show. But this woman, her name is Julie Overskei. She has a business that's called Joe's Body Shop. That's JO''S Body Shop. And she's actually a massage therapist. And what I wanted to talk to her about today is about how her business and her practice has been affected through the pandemic. Welcome to the show, Julie. I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toni. Thank you for all of the energy stoners out there.
Yes. There are a lot of them out there. So the reason I wanted to have you on so much is that you have a business, and your business is a business of the healing touch. And with the pandemic, there is this problem, or this, I'll just say this issue of social distancing, which is something that you have to comply with in your business, and it must be challenging. And the irony of it is that during this time, with what we've all been going through collectively, and we each have our unique stories, we really need people like you. So tell me what this has been for you and for Joe's Body Shop, how it's been.
I think for everybody amidst the beginning of COVID, the beginning of the pause, so to speak, I think that's a really appropriate word for this situation, because we are taking a pause and we are reevaluating everything. I just wasn't sure how my business might fit into a new lifestyle. So I opened during the third phase as per Governor Cuomo's allowance, which was June 23rd. I was closed from March 14th. So it was a good 3 months solid. Mm-hmm. And I started out very slowly, taking one client a day. I wanted to be sure that I had all of the PPE and all the protective sources and the cleaning and my CDC compliant protocol in place. Which there was a lot of requirements from the state in order to fill in forms as to who was responsible for cleaning and contact tracing, taking the temperature. And then also, as per, I think everybody can attest to this, when you were trying to order protective materials for your business or your personal use, it was impossible to get them delivered on time and to even have them available, and especially to have them available for an affordable price.
Right.
So I was just slow and steady. And basically right now, I think that I don't know if I'll ever be in a situation seeing as many clients as I was maybe seeing in a day before COVID, but I think that's okay as well. I have a greater amount of time in between my clients for cleaning and studying intake forms and doing my soap notes. And, it's just never ending, basically. You have to clean and scrub all the time.
Right. I know. I went to the dentist today. What an ordeal the hygienist went through. Oh, my goodness. She did what she had to do. It's interesting to me because as a healthcare practitioner, and I want you to just explain to the audience what you do, so you have to adhere to the Board of Health requirements and CDC requirements anyway. Now they're just double.
Exactly. I think for massage therapists versus other businesses like accounting, let's say, I was always very clean and aware of my bleach usage and dealing with kind of human fluids, the way I should do my laundry, how I should wash my hands, how I should treat people safely, how I shouldn't work over an open wound, et cetera, that novel COVID-19 coming into force and with there being extra stringent cleaning requirements, it didn't affect me in the way I think it may have affected other businesses. Because I do all the cleaning myself so that I can be sure it's very clean. And granted, I'm not a full-blown spa with 20 people coming in and 20 people leaving. So I'm small enough that I can manage it, basically.
Explain to the audience why, seeing a massage therapist during this time, if you can actually do something like that, why that would be helpful to people with COVID. Now, just so you know, I've interviewed a lot of people in healthcare as well as individuals, and I know people, and I have myself, that there are things that happen to you during isolation, and there is a need for touch, but yet there are restrictions on touching and socializing. Explain to me how going to someone like you could be really helpful and safe.
I think it's absolutely necessary. For instance, today I was talking with a client who is a new bride-to-be as of Saturday and has told me that the only person that has touched her in the past 4 months is her fiance.
She's pretty lucky from my world.
Exactly. Even if you're lucky enough to be in a situation where you're part of a larger group of people, a family, a pod, I might ask my children to come towards me and grab them every once in a while or grab my husband. But in general, I can't expect that they're doing the same to me. Like it's as though as human beings, we may take one another for granted. Some people also aren't touchy-feely, so they don't really respond in that way. They'd rather write a note of endearment or tell somebody how they feel about them rather than to touch them. So I think that my profession right now is actually imperative. I mean, the doctors are not even touching us. How can somebody touch you during a televisit? How can somebody evaluate your dermatitis over a video conference? Every day, I basically kind of am thinking, wow, I'm maybe taking a chance here, but I'm protected. I'm boosting my immune system. I'm helping people get better sleep and to realize they're not alone. Granted, I can't put my arms around them and hold them to my body, which is what I would really like to do. Mm-hmm. But I can emanate my care for them and my concern and my support for them through my hands. And I hope to do that.
What kind of things are you seeing? What kind of situations are walking through your door?
Anxiety, depression. Mm-hmm. I would say chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS, ME, myalgic encephalitis, people who have had COVID early in March who are not getting better, who are having kind of post-symptomatic symptoms, continuations of issues. It's kind of devastating, to be quite honest, because I also think that I'm not a doctor. I'm a massage therapist. So I really wish that I can help people to tell them about things like Bach's rescue remedy, which could help them with sleep and anxiety. And that's a series of flower tinctures, or I might be able to talk about valerian as a nice herbal tea, which is a natural kind of Valium effect, or CBD oils or melatonin to help with sleep, or headspace to help with some auditory soothing while somebody's trying to rest and take a moment. But so I feel like, granted, there are many things out there, but I also feel limited in the way that I'm sometimes replacing what their physician should be doing. And I'm actually having a personal problem thinking that a lot of medical practitioners are using COVID to their benefit.
How so? How could they do that?
To be in the office, maybe to not see their clients in person, like psychotherapy. People are doing psychotherapy, video conferencing. For some people, that works really well because some people may have anxiety about confronting their therapist or being in the same room as their therapist. And they're worried mostly about the illness, about COVID. But for other people, they need to be in the physical space. Mm-hmm. I can say for myself, much of what I do is about observation. I don't ask them point blank or say, you are not sleeping all night. I can see that, you know?
Right.
So,
well, when they lay on your table and you can kind of look and see certain things, I imagine, like the spine is straight, and if there's tension, can you see that? You can often see that in someone's back.
Yeah, of course. But there are other things that you can see that you don't see with your eyes.
Oh.
Any kind of good therapist or trained individual, or even a person that believes in that way, it can be open enough to see what's going on, kind of to read between the lines, let's say.
This is my feeling. I feel that true healers have sort of an interesting intuition. Now, in your space, I know that you also have like a retail aspect to it where people can go in and buy books and cards and stones. Tell the audience a little bit about that, because, you know, that's something that you can maybe get a stone that could be a healing stone, or you could get a book that you could read on, or if you want to read some tarot cards or something. You have things like that in your store as well.
Yeah. I really love my little curioso shop because most everything in there are things that I've used myself that I find beneficial or I'm intrigued by, or gifts that I've bought other people. And so I just think if you're looking for something unusual or a one of a kind, something or other, it's the perfect shop. During COVID, I hand drew about 450 cards. And then I started painting, making wands. And so some of those things are in the shop as well. And yes, in terms of stones, I use stones all the time. I believe so much in stone people. I believe in their essence and their quality and the change and openness that they can attract and bring into your life. But besides that, they're beautiful, and they're things that have been created through natural happenstance, heat, water, carbon,
time.
Absolutely. So, you know, it's funny. I remember my son when he was young, we went to a glass blowing up in Beacon to the glass workshop. And so we were blowing our own Christmas ornaments. And my son said, wow, what if somebody's ill and blows into this ornament? So is that encapsulating these germs of illness? And it's just, this always kind of runs through my mind, where I question all of that as well. But it brings me to the stones, you know, that's encapsulating that time, that quality of that water, the quality of that air, the soil, the minerals, some waterways and some minerals having more iron, and then that creates their weight and their color and their force. So yeah, I totally believe in stones. Plus, it's hard to get any stones around here in Westchester.
Yeah, to get the quality of stone that you want, and actually to be able to purchase them for someone that understands what they're selling. But what you sell is actual genuine stones. And there are other places, but you have to go a little out of the area to find the kind of quality that you have in your store. I recently bought a labradorite stone, it was kind of like an egg-shaped stone that just resonates. And I think that people that are into stones and genuine jewelry, but genuine stones, genuine gems, you kind of know when you hold it, if it's real or if it's a synthetic or a plastic, or if it's something else other than what they say it is. Do you often suggest to your clientele, when you see kind of what their problems are, do you suggest a particular stone that might be nice for them to carry or maybe keep under their pillow or something?
Absolutely. Yeah, all the time. And then often that's what's nice about having the shop is that people whom you wouldn't expect to come into a shop like mine, who are coming for protection, or they're coming they love the stones and they're looking for the stones, or children. Children are so attracted to stones.
Yes,
they're
they are.
Star people themselves. And it's exciting. Yeah. And that's why I like having them there, because oftentimes it's just continuation of the remedy. I'll offer this to somebody. I'll give it to somebody. It just kind of whatever comes into my heart or my mind. I don't often, there's no time to question anything. There's no time anymore to really question anything. And so I just think you have to live in the moment. Mm-hmm. And so if something says it should go and it should go to this person, then it goes to that person. And I tell people, if you lose a stone, it's very natural that maybe it's done its job and maybe somebody else needs it more.
Yes.
So it's hard when it's your favorite thing.
Oh, believe me, I've been there. And I think anybody that's been on the planet for a year or two would know what that's like. You have things and I once lost a humsay on Yom Kippur that my husband had given me. And I think about it to this day and I feel like kind of mortified. He replaced it for me because he was a good man. It was weird. And I remember thinking, I don't fast on Yom Kippur. He did. I was wearing the humsay because it was beautiful. And then I pulled my sweatshirt off and I pulled the necklace off at the same time and never found it. And I always thought maybe somebody else needed that so bad. Just so in the audience, if people don't know, a humsay, it's a symbol. It looks like a hand. Most people have seen it. And it refers to the hand of God. And the symbol is a symbol of protection. It's a Middle Eastern symbol, no particular religion if you're from the Middle East. So it would be, Jewish, Muslim, even Christian. It's the hand of God. It's protection. How ironic and how curious it is that I would lose that on Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
But I say that when you lose a stone, often it's because someone needs it better than you do. If you lose money.
Absolutely.
And someone's going to find it, they need it more than you do.
Right.
So you have to look at it that way, otherwise you'll go crazy. But anyway, I think that you're right about a couple of things. I've experienced some of what you talk about. Now with COVID, anxiety, I've heard a lot of people talk about anxiety. And especially if you haven't been touched, not even a handshake. So people go to see you, and how do you actually address their anxiety?
So I have a thorough intake form, which they fill out. And I'm talking if somebody's new, they'll fill this out. And then I go over that intake form with them. And then from there, it's like having a conversation, basically. So things happen. Things may come to light, like, oh, I see you touching your right shoulder a lot. Is your neck okay? And then it will come, I didn't sleep well last night. And then it goes on and on and on. Sometimes it's not verbal. Sometimes I can see that someone's kind of nervous about being there in my space. Maybe they're concerned, maybe they have a childcare issue and they don't have a lot of time. So we'll just get on the table. And so basically I start with like a craniosacral reading, which is very much like Reiki. It's just a hands-on light touch where I'm basically getting information. And also their body is then becoming acquainted with my touch. And then in doing that, I can find out some people are very nervous about soft touch. Some people enjoy that and will relax immediately. So all of it, I think, is very intuitive. I don't work the same with every person or any one person. Everybody is different and they're treated differently on the table. Mm-hmm. And I think that's important. That's basically why I don't work at a spa, because in a spa, the requirement is to serve the masses.
Yeah.
In my situation, my requirement is to serve the individual.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of dedication. That takes a lot of confidence on your part to not worry at all about, how many people and to serve that one person.
This is the pause, right? This is where we're at. This is health over wealth, the time in which we're living right now.
Yes.
There's so much strife, and we're seeing it even currently with another more natural disasters, the fires in Northern California.
Scary. It's frightening.
So as we all can say, it's been maybe going on for centuries, but 2020, there's a lot of, the earth is hiccuping, basically, and we're being led. We would like to think that we're leaders. No, we're not. We never have been. So everybody kind of, bow and become humble to the greater powers that be, and just try to share and bring goodness and recognize when people need help, because we're all the same. We are all the same, no matter what. We all desire kindness and respect and food and shelter and warmth and fresh water and sunshine.
And sunshine, yes, that helps a lot. That helps a lot. And I find often I hear people find that they have to kind of make themselves leave the house and take that walk, when it really should be something, in my opinion, that you should want to know. I mean, I crave that. But I'm wondering if you see it the way a lot of people do. I don't know if everybody sees it this way, but it seems that the playing field has been leveled.
In what way?
Well, in other words, we're all going through the same thing, and then we all seem to be and sharing the same emotions, even though our situations are unique. And considering maybe there are a lot of people that experience a lot of wealth, and a lot of people have told me that their businesses have come to a grinding halt. So, it kind of puts them in their minds down a few notches. With people, maybe they felt they were a little above that. So being that we all have to watch out for our health, we all need to wear a mask, we all need to wash our hands, we all need to stay in as if we can. So it's almost like we're on the same playing field. Nobody's really above anyone anymore. When maybe there was a point where you kind of felt some people were kind of up here and some people were in the middle and some people were on the bottom. I think that we're all in the middle now. The playing field has been leveled.
Oh, I don't know about that, because I have a home and a lot of people don't. And I live in a home with a yard, so I can go outside. And many people live in a 6th-floor walk-up in an apartment that's the size of a closet, and they couldn't go outside. So I think that things are even maybe slightly more extreme, that people are feeling more pain, and some are feeling more pain. And I mean, look at what's happening. And I think that when we would like to think we're in control. So when the control is taken from many people, they get angry. And anger is not a primary emotion. It's a secondary emotion. So it may come from frustration or feeling overwhelmed or feeling insecure. But the reaction and the action of those feelings is oftentimes negligent, oftentimes harmful, oftentimes creating a greater separation, because I think everybody's screaming inside saying, many people are screaming inside saying, okay, COVID is happening. It's a pandemic. It's global. But this has happened to me. I lost my grandmother. I lost my mother. I lost my business. And the bank isn't helping. And my landlord continues to charge me rent and to call me every day for something that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And people are continuing to lose their health, and they don't have insurance. And also, quite honestly, doctors are slightly overwhelmed and they don't know what to do with these people. So I don't think the fields are leveled at all. I think the mountains are higher and the valleys are lower.
Yeah, that's something to think about. Yeah, it's true. Everybody's situation is very, very different. And it's interesting that you just kind of admit that you have that advantage. I think that a lot of people in the beginning of the pandemic, I'd say like myself, I looked around and I realized how lucky I was and how safe I am. And not everybody has that. I have a lot of space, and it's a safe space. And I'm an artist, so I work at home alone anyway. For you, it's basically keeping I imagine your mind is occupied with keeping your business afloat and taking care of your clients. Yeah,
but during the pause, we were all just kind of taking care of whom we were living with, whether it be a human animal or a canine animal or a cat or a frog. And it was kind of about sustaining life. And it wasn't about kind of growing life.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't thinking about how I could grow my business. I was thinking about, will I have a business? And even right now, I'm not thinking about, it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all I can handle. I'm just kind of thinking about, how can I sustain this? And how can I be sure that I'm doing the right thing for the people that come and see me, and at the same time have enough left over to support my growing children and my family.
I think that it's wonderful that you're actually that you've been able to open to some extent, and I imagine your clientele is really happy about that. So are you seeing new people, or is this your regular clientele just thrilled to be back?
That's a really good question. So in my thinking about opening, I thought, I'm not going to take anybody new. I'm only going to see the people that I've seen before, as a kind of trust issue. And ironically, the people that came forward were oftentimes brand new people. There were even people coming up from the city because the city was absolutely closed. And so I was just very careful. So I would say it's probably 60-40, 65-35.
Okay.
So I am seeing my regular client, and then I have new clients. It's interesting. And a lot of people now have moved, there's the mass exodus out of cities, and they've moved up here. So there's many of the people that I've seen are brand new implants into Peekskill, and they're just getting kind of settled and adjusted. And they're also adjusting to working from home. And many people are still keeping their apartments in Manhattan or in the 5 boroughs. And then they've rented someplace up here. So they're thinking, if I have to work from inside, at least I can go outside and go to Blue Mountain Reservation.
Right, exactly. Because it is beautiful outside. And I know that being outdoors is very beneficial in a health way. Do you advise your clientele, your clients to get outside? I mean, a lot of people, I imagine there are artists that just they're going to stay home and work on stuff. I could be a little bit like that, but I can attest to the fact that it's good to take a walk. I know I could use a massage. What kind of advice could you give it our audience in terms of dealing with the lack of touch, the anxiety just on their own? I don't know if it's possible for you to give any kind of suggestions, if it's ethical for you to even suggest without seeing them? Is there anything that would be standard fare?
I think boosting your immune system, let's just start from that point. Boosting your immune system, a lot of vitamin C, D3, even B12, which can help support the nervous system, because it would be that we would naturally get our B12 from the minerals in our well water. But now with city water that's being highly chlorinated, it's reducing these minerals. And these are minerals that are important to our subsistence. So there's that. Definitely getting outside, because with vitamin D, we can get it obviously from the sun. If we're dark bodied, we need more sun because the sun needs to come through the melatonin. So I think that's important, to always get outside. During COVID, when my whole family, my husband's an educator, so he was on computer from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. performing his classes and his duties. And my kids were doing class and learning all day online. I would ask, let's go out, take the dog out to the woods and go for a walk. And that was really helpful. We need exercise in order to have good sleep at night. If we are stressed, a stressful sleep is not a restful sleep. A physically tired, exhausted sleep is really the best kind. So, exercise is great. I understand, even we were feeling sometimes like this, like when it let up, when COVID kind of let up, and you could see cars driving around again and people walking outside. It was a little bit daunting.
Yeah.
It was a little shocking. And we're seeing that now, where there's this certain kind of distrust. You are walking the aisles of a grocery store and you see somebody coming towards you, walking quite quickly, and maybe their mask is below their nose. And I don't know about you, but you just make a U-turn and get out of there.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily good. I mean, how is it good to live in a village and distrust your villagers?
Yeah.
We need to just trust ourselves and be vocal. I many times have asked people to please put their mask on. I've had sometimes, unfortunately, heated discussions about why we need to wear our mask and how my mask is helping to keep them healthy and their mask is helping to keep me healthy.
It's hard. It's hard because some people, they say the quote unquote, I don't believe in it, but believe in it because it's science. And this is what I do, and I'll share it with the audience. If you get somebody that says, I'm not wearing that, that's against, you're infringing upon my rights, my freedom. When I'm wearing that thing, it's a myth, it's a hoax, or whatever. Just say to them, do you drive a car? Do you ride in a car, a motor vehicle? When you get in the car, do you buckle your seatbelt, or do you just drive off without buckling your seatbelt? It's not a big deal. Just put on the mask. And you can even make it fun for yourself. Accessorize with it. Get different ones. That's right. And it feeds the economy when you buy those things. You're helping the economy as well. And really, I equate it to buckling my seatbelt. And there have been rare times when I drive away without having my seatbelt buckled. But I know that if I get stopped or something happens, and I've had relationships with windshields, I'll admit, and I really don't want to have a relationship with someone else's germs, someone else's virus. So the easiest thing is wear a mask. And thank you, Julie. Julie, what's your website so people can go and check you out online?
So it's joesbodyshopny.com, and Joe's is JOS, bodyshopny.com. It's a really simple site. And then also, if you check out my Instagram page, Joe's Body Shop, you'll see the posted hours, which are basically at this point 2:30 to 6:30, Tuesday through Saturday. And then if I'm available, you can give me a call as well. You can check out my telephone number, 914-960-1367. So you can leave a message or text me. And then I can let you know if I'm in the shop, or if you have requests, if I have certain stones, or if you want to make an appointment for some body work, I would welcome it.
I'll tell the honest, you won't be disappointed. It'll probably be the healthiest thing you've done all year to go see her. And I thank you so much, Julie, for coming on. I want to have you back because you are a friend of the show, and we love having you around. And I always love to talk to you about these things, and I really anticipate collaborating with you one of these days.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be great? And I thank the audience for coming and listening to the Energy Stoners Cafe. Please, everybody, be safe, stay safe, be well, stay calm, okay? And I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Energy Stoners Cafe.
Thank you for listening to Passionate World Talk Radio. You can listen to this program all over again by going over to https://passionateworldtalkradio.com. You can also hear it on Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Alexa, AMFM247.com every Tuesday evening between 8 and 9 p.m. YouTube, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, and all the other podcast directories one can find on the internet.